What's up, you guys? Welcome back to my channel. Okay, apparently somebody wants to be in the video. So this week, okay. So this week I thought we'd do something kind of different. Let's try this again. It's one of those days where every time I try to record, somebody like it jumps out, like the neighbor just came out. So let's try this again. In my early recovery, I had lost my sense of humor. So I was, just to give you a little snapshot of what I looked like when I first went into treatment, highly paranoid, highly unstable, highly volatile, very untrusting of people. Don't know what that was. Very untrusting of people. And the first thing I did when I went in there was I snuck into the kitchen, got the best knife that I could find, took it back to my room, didn't even try to hide the fact that I grabbed a knife from the kitchen, took it back to my room. My roommate saw it. I shoved it in between the mattress and the box spring, and then I proceeded to sleep for 20 hours. I couldn't sleep without some sort of weapon on me because I didn't know where I was. I didn't trust anybody. I was, like I said, highly paranoid. And then when I was doing the paperwork, after that resting period, I was doing my paperwork, to intake paperwork, and what set me off was I saw a little camera icon on the paperwork, and then it was talking about we may be filming you or recording you for the purposes of, I can't even remember what the purpose was, but basically they could film or record you if you check this box, and it would just be for probably their newsletter or their website or whatever. But at the time, for me, that was what? You're gonna film me? You're gonna record me? I was like, this is exactly what I'm talking about. I knew I was on a reality TV show. I was like, this is some bullshit. You got me over here on this reality TV show that I'm not even getting paid for. You want to record me? You want to take pictures of me? And you don't even want to pay me? This is messed up. This is so messed up right now. And that's how paranoid I was. I thought that rehab was actually a reality, a horrible reality TV show about people like me that had just completely fucked up their life, and we're going to be the entertainment and the laughing stock of the world because they're going to record and make this all into some fucked up TV show. That's what I thought, and I just flew off the deep end that day. And that was day one of my rehab. They had to talk me down and be like, it's fine, just don't check the box, we don't need to do anything like that. No, this isn't a TV show. And I'm I'm ripping up the paperwork and storming off, and I can only imagine what they thought of me. But at the time it didn't matter. I calmed down, I stayed, and I continued to get the help, and we've got another little visitor. Where I'm going with that is one of the very first crucial lessons I learned in my recovery journey was you can't take yourself too seriously. If you take yourself too seriously, you're not going to enjoy your time doing a lot of stuff, including treatment. So in the beginning, I had no sense of humor. I was so paranoid, I didn't trust anybody. But I slowly started to ease up and ease out of that mindset and be like, you know what? Some of the other people in treatment were joking around, and they had just as serious of a problem with addiction, and there was a time to be serious and talk about that, and then there was break periods, and that was kind of your time to be more lighthearted and joke around and kind of make fun of ourselves and some of the crazy situations that we got ourselves in. Because if you can't laugh at yourself and you can't make fun of yourself, then it was the time was just gonna drag so badly. And so when I started to learn how to kind of poke fun at my past self, in rehab, we would do impersonations of our old selves, and that was pure gold. During the time, it was just so hysterical, and there was so many similarities between the various types of addicts and how, like, what we did and the crazy shit we did. It was just like it was really funny. And it was really funny to impersonate ourselves and kind of laugh about the stuff. So on that note, I currently resell primarily clothing on the internet via Poshmark, via eBay. I'm Goody Stash over there. And the point is, like, when I got into reselling, which is basically what it is, I do more than just reselling. And reselling for me isn't going to be all I do. Okay, she's just going to be in the video. So reselling for me is going to be a stepping stone into doing some of the other things that I really want to do. Like, I want to start upcycling clothing and making more like unique, one-of-a-kind pieces. And I also want to get more into like digital products and making digital products, then building my own website. But right now, currently, my main source of income is a reseller. And when I started reselling, it was like I would notice these little similarities between like my past, what I did, and current, which was reselling. So this video is poking fun at the differences between being a reseller and being a criminal, in my case, ex-criminal. So disclaimer, I don't think being a criminal is funny in the least. I don't think it's a cool thing to do. I don't think it's a smart thing to do. I don't encourage anybody to be a criminal in any capacity whatsoever. I was a criminal for so many years, and the reason I'm making fun of myself for doing it is because this is a lighthearted video meant just to be for entertainment purposes only. It's not to say being a criminal is lighthearted, being a drug addict is lighthearted. I know most people have the common sense to know that's not what this is about, but this is just a disclaimer. If this is like your first video that you're seeing me on, go over to my channel and you'll see a lot more like in-depth sit-down videos where I'm being more like serious about the subject of criminal lifestyle, being a drug addict, being very desperate. And so this is a more lighthearted video. So this is in no way encouraging or condoning that type of behavior. This is just my past and my present and noticing how many similarities there are between being a reseller and being a criminal. All right, so let's get into it. Okay, first things first, let's get the most obvious one out of the way. Baggies. Clear baggies. And a digital scale. Shocker, shocker. But seriously, every day I use these in my reselling, which is completely legal, by the way. Nowadays, I am bagging up inventory and shipping it off to its new home, which I'm proud to do today because now my product is adding value to someone's life, whereas before the product I was sending off was taking away value and decreasing somebody's lifespan. So yes, I'm proud to use these tools in my business today. Another similarity, there was no set work schedule. I could work whenever I wanted, had to work every day, but I wasn't on a set schedule, just like reselling. I have to work every day or about every day if I want to keep a steady, consistent income, but I'm not on a set schedule, which I love. All right, next up we have always on, always on. So as a criminal, I was always on, and as a reseller, I'm always on, almost always on. And what I mean by that is I'm constantly like trying to improve, trying to make my processes more efficient. I'm always looking for, back then it was the next opportunity, the next score, the next partnership. I'm going to, orchestrate this whole thing and put it together and put the plans in motion, get the dry run going. I've got a lot going on that I want to get everything just right before I take action. And I was very cautious in that way. And as a reseller, I'm also the same. I'm kind of cautious because it's like, I want to be smart with my money. I don't want to just throw money out and see what happens. I want to be as smart and plan and do as much work ahead as I can so that I can minimize my losses. So in both instances, I was pretty much obsessed with my work and always thinking about work and what I was going to do next. Okay, next up we have the favorite coworker. Oh, she heard me talking about her. Okay. In both cases, my favorite coworker was a dog. My favorite, like my most loyal, trusted coworker was a dog. And Bella's with me in my reselling journey because she helps with my depression and my loneliness and my anxiety. And my dog back then was actually my boyfriend's dog, and she helped with the same, like feeling lonely, being able to talk to her, because yes, I do talk to animals. And the great thing about dogs is they keep your secrets. They don't talk bad about you behind your back. And yeah, I'm a dog lover. Definitely. Okay, next up is both now and then. I led a very low profile existence. So if you think I'm like crouched over, it's because where I have the camera. I led a very low profile existence then, and I do now, and that's what I prefer, because I don't like to draw. Back then I didn't like to draw a lot of attention to myself, and now I don't like to draw a lot of attention to myself. I'm not a flashy person, and so that's just how I am now too. I also don't want to draw a lot of attention to myself, because I know in the past that's the type of people that were like easy targets, or they would like grab your attention, and you're like, and then you would have the thought like, oh, let's go check that out, let's go check out that situation and see what's going on. So I don't ever really want to draw attention to myself in that way. Next up, disguise. This is the closest I could find with everything I have here at my house. You want to see something funny? The only gloves I could find have this fur on them. What? I don't really need this stuff these days. But as an early reseller, I felt like I needed a disguise. Now my hair is going to be crazy. As an early reseller, I felt like I needed a disguise. And when I had my son, I was like, oh, this is the perfect disguise. I'm a mom shopping. Nobody's going to think that I'm doing anything weird. Nobody's going to think I'm doing like this reselling thing. And I thought I had to keep reselling secret because it felt too good to be true. And I thought if I told people what I was doing, like the store owners or the people that ran the estates would be like, no, you can't come here if you're going to resell. I thought it was like this taboo thing because it felt too good to be true. And it felt kind of wrong because I was taking things that they were selling at a low rate, and then I was putting them online and selling them for a pretty good profit. So it felt wrong, and I felt like I needed a disguise as an early reseller. I'm glad I finally got over that hump because it actually benefits me more to tell people that I do sell online. Next similarity is I'm still working till the wee hours of the morning. So back then I was working, I would start my day around 4 p.m. and I would end around 8 a.m. and then start again the next day. And these days I start my day around 9 a.m. and I end my day around 12 a.m. That's just the current schedule I'm on. But in the beginning days I had even crazier time. And now take into account I take a lot of breaks because I have Nico with me full time, so that's why my hours are a little different now. But yeah, in the early days I've always worked late into the night because I'm a night owl and that's just what I'm used to. So another similarity is there is no uniform. I don't have to wear a uniform. I didn't have to wear a uniform then. I don't have to wear a uniform now, but I find myself grabbing a uniform of sorts. Back then, it was just the classic black hoodie for the most part and jeans. and gloves and something to cover my face. A lot of times I painted my face. Nowadays I gravitate towards a lot of t-shirts, leggings, and the majority of them are black. So that's one of my favorite colors. It always has been and it always will be. Let me insert a clip of my closet. Please don't judge me. It's a mess. Surprise, surprise. I wore a lot of black when I was a criminal. Surprise, surprise. As a reseller, I wear a lot of black. Black, gray, blue, very silver. Most of my clothing is still black. Yes, my clothing is kind of a mess. This is not a decluttering video, not an organizing video, but as you can see, my shelves, mostly gray and black. Little purple, little pink, but mostly gray and black. So 3 more and I'll wrap it up. Okay, next is research. I was doing back then a lot of research before I made a move, and that was because my biggest fear was going to prison, because being a creative personality, being a free spirit, being kind of like this roamer, if you will, I never wanted to be tied down anywhere too long. And that worked for me in that lifestyle. But if I was to ever get locked up and go to prison, I knew I would be in there for a really long time, if not for the rest of my life. So I was always trying to research and plan my next move before I made it. And for me, that was my way of trying to protect myself from the odds of getting picked up and going to prison. I'm so glad I don't have to worry about that these days. It's like a load has been lifted off of me, but I still research, and I love research these days. I research my product, like whatever product I'm thinking about bringing in my store, or I'm thinking about making myself for my store, or I'm researching to see like what's in demand, what's trending, what are people loving, and then I sort of take all these things into account before I go out and source the next round of products or the next thing that I'm going to make. I sort of do all this research up front, and I really enjoy that. Next similarity is selling. A good chunk of my day is consumed with selling. So back then I was selling as a means to survive, a means to provide for my habit. Now I'm selling. I wasn't selling because I was some successful dealer by any stretch of the imagination. I was selling just to maintain. And nowadays I'm still spending a good chunk of my time selling, but I'm just selling the things that are in my shop, and I'm proud of what I'm selling today. Okay, the last and the most like spot on similarity between being a criminal and being a reseller is this. I'm constantly looking for what I call sleeper opportunities. So I'm constantly looking for items that are high in demand, that have a high potential, highly profitable, or have a high value, and that are often overlooked and undervalued. So that way I'm able to get them at a relatively low cost and flip them fast and kind of keep that momentum going. Now, I don't always find these products, I don't always find these opportunities, but I'm constantly searching for them. And when I find them, I act on them quickly. And that's the exact same as my past, so no explanation needed there. All right, you guys, I hope you didn't take this video too seriously. It was just meant to be kind of for entertainment only. Okay, that is going to wrap up this segment of reseller versus criminal. The point of this video is to sort of make fun of the past me, not because what I did in the past is a joke, but because being able to laugh at ourselves is actually a really great tool to have in our toolbox, as they say in recovery, and it helps lift your spirits, lift your mood, lift your depression. It helps you to be able to move on from your past, because I've paid the price for my crimes. I've been locked up. I've been in recovery. I've been in extended treatment. I've been doing extensive work on myself to change, to become a better person. So if me making fun of the past version of myself offends you, that is not my intention whatsoever. It's just part of my healing. It's part of my process. It's part of my recovery. And I wanted to share that today. So if you've watched till the end, thank you so much for hanging in there with me. Oh, thank you so much for watching. And until next week, stay strong, stay grateful, and stay positive. Right. You want to say anything? You want to say goodbye? Did you come to say goodbye? Oh! All right, I'll see you guys next week.